How can belly dance be sacred if it is also sexy? Today's episode of Center Her Power podcast is about belly dance and what makes it sacred. Here are the 5 ways that I know belly dance is sacred. Number 1, belly dance is sacred because of the way I learned it. My teacher of belly dance was Zara of Silver Spring, Maryland, and she always created a very tranquil, sacred space with incense and the lighting and music. In her class, as I danced, I ignited a memory of being connected in a very specifically sacred way through the dance and to the earth. So for me, as I was dancing, I would just move. And as I moved, I knew that I was connected to the earth and that this was a dance that I once did in temples. And Zara talked about temple dancers and really created a sacred space for it. So before I did any reading about it, I knew in the clear cognizant way that belly dance, if done correctly, is a sacred dance. Oh, I know belly dance is a sacred dance. Number 2, belly dance is sacred because it activates the chakras. If done consciously, and this is something that I teach in the classes that are coming up, if done consciously, belly dance can open, activate, and strengthen all of the chakras in the body. The movements themselves actually mimic the way energy moves in our energy field. Some of the movements, like the infinity loop, so they call it figure 8, actually it's an infinity loop. And when you look at it, it's really mimicking the way that the energy can move within the earth. Number 3, belly dance is a sacred dance because it originated in ancient Egypt. Now, not everything in Egypt was sacred. I'll give you that. However, according to Belly Dance, the Dance of Mother Earth by Tina Hobin, the way she puts it is this. Various forms of belly dance grew out of ancient rituals and folk dances over the centuries. In ancient Egypt, the dance was an expression of joy and a part of magic, religious rituals, and funeral rites. So Egyptians danced as a part of a sacred expression or sacred ceremonies. And I believe that belly dance is sacred in part because it was created in Egypt, because I know that Egyptians understood the body and the magic of the universe. They understood that the human is a 3-part being: body, mind, and spirit. They were in tune with different dimensions, life in different dimensions. They were deities that existed in other dimensions. They were connected to the cosmos and to other planets. And when you look at some of the hieroglyphs and some of the images from Egypt, you can see that Egyptians understood how energy moves in and around the body. The 5th reason to support my claim that belly dance is a sacred dance is that belly dance was created at a time when women were considered holy or sacred. There were religious systems, practices, temples, where the deity was a woman. It was believed that the creator spoke through a woman and brought cultures information. So there were myths in the Hopi Native American tradition, in different parts of Africa, South Africa, West Africa. The Dahomey, which you may have heard of in Woman King, Mawu, is my woo Lisa. And my woo is the feminine principle, and Lisa is the masculine principle. And that was the divine masculine and feminine deities. My woo was given her authority by a feminine supreme being. So if you look at cultures and you look at myths that have been unveiled throughout the world, especially throughout Africa and Western Asia and in North America, as well as Celtic religions, Celtic cultures, women were revered for their connection to the Creator. In some cultures, it was believed that life actually came from the woman. Women do incubate babies and give birth. And some cultures actually believe that because of this function, that women must be very closely related to the Creator. And we are very closely related to the Creator. And so are men. Women are connected to the earth through our bodies. Our bodies are a part of the earth. And women, as well as men, are connected to the earth through our root chakra. So the movements that we do, the dance movements that we do in our root chakra, can activate or open the chakra so that the connection is more conscious, and that we're more consciously connected to our ancestors, which is a part of the root chakra, that we feel grounded and centered here in the world. There are movements you can do in belly dance that help to activate and nurture and nourish the root chakra. So women were revered, were religious leaders and priestesses at the time when belly dance was created. In fact, belly dance has been used to help women prepare for childbirth. So men can do the dance and have done the dance for many, many years. And the dance itself has been used to help women give birth. I actually, and this is not really something that happened a long time ago. I talked to a friend who was in the process of labor. Someone may have mentioned to her, or she felt it herself, but she got on her hands and knees and started to turn her pelvis and do hip circles in order to help the baby come down and be delivered. In some cultures in Africa, the women dance around the pregnant woman who's in labor, and they undulate their bellies and help to give the woman who's giving birth energy and demonstrate how she can utilize her body to help to push the baby down and give birth. For me, I use belly dance to help balance my hormones. Sometimes when I'm feeling when I used to menstruate, now I'm menopausal, but when I used to menstruate, and sometimes I would just be feeling sad and just disheveled. And when I would do the infinity loop or the figure eight in a really meditative way, it felt like rocking. And it helped me to feel more balanced physically, and it helped to balance my hormones. This dance is sacred because of the healing properties and the healing mechanisms that it activates. Why is this important now? Why is understanding belly dance important now? Because it can help women to reconnect to their divine feminine nature in their bodies. Like, this connection to your divine feminine nature doesn't have to be something afar off outside of you. Belly dance is something you can do in your own home to help you to feel connected. I mean, of course, it's wonderful to go out to a class and be with other women and And when you see other women and how they dance, and you see yourself as a part of a larger community, and whereas you may have been feeling isolated and like your body was the only one that had all these hips or all these thighs or all these titties or breasts, you realize that you're a part of a larger collective. And that's important. And right now, women have been objectified. Our bodies are often pictured separate from our body parts are pictured separate from our bodies, and women are often objectified and looked to be something to be oogled or to be sexed up. Belly dance is important right now because we need to recapture this ancient knowledge. This ancient technical knowledge needs to be recaptured and integrated into our beingness. Belly dance, music are great ways to bypass the thought process and allow the knowingness to come into your body and into your spirit. And your body can teach you things that your mind might not be able to fully comprehend. Can you tell I love belly I love belly dance. Can you tell I am just such a belly dance enthusiast? Maybe differently than others because I'm not really into performance. Because for me, belly dance is a sacred practice. It's a tool that's a part of my sacred toolkit. And I share it in classes so that other women can understand the sacredness for themselves and integrate it into their bodies, as I mentioned before. Sometimes in performance, the movements are put together so closely and so quickly that I don't know if the therapeutic benefits really come out. Now, don't get me wrong, I love performances too. I love to see the skill that men and women have, well, particularly women. And when I was looking at Rashid Alexander, and his movements are just so skilled. He is such a wonderful, lovely dancer. And it's important for us to be able to have tools to go inward. In our culture, sometimes we're constantly looking outward, looking for something to be given to us, looking for an outside stimuli for meeting our needs. Belly dance is a way that you can internalize your sacred nature. And that's really what I like to share about belly dance. Okay. Well, I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening. Again, my name is Sanaa Green. If you would like to connect with me, you can find me at my website, centerherpower.com. I will be offering some belly dance classes in the spring, and there'll be live classes in the Detroit area, but I'll be live streaming the classes. So if you're not in the Detroit area, you can still participate. These classes are going to be 12 weeks, and I'll be actually going into more detail about the healing benefits of belly dance. And then once you finish the 12 weeks, you might want to actually learn how to lead your own belly dance circle. And I have a class for that that'll be offered later this year. Also, I am now forming a class. Well, I'm in the process of preparing to teach a class on the yoni. It's called Yoni Fire, and it's a sacred practice that's orgasmic, that can really help you feel connected to your body, to the cosmos, to the earth. It's just phenomenal. When we look at the history of belly dance and we look at the history of women, then we understand how significant belly dancing can be. The woman was considered in many cultures to be the very seat of creation, the divine representative to humankind. the part of creation that actually incubated new life, not just new babies, not just babies, but ideas, cultures, systems of understanding, systems of being, systems of religion, systems of agriculture. The woman was considered in many cultures to be this divine presenter of that. Everyone in the community shared in what she presented. However, she was considered the center. And this is where belly dance was originated, when women understood themselves to be pillars of the community, sensual, sexual, creators of ideas, lives, communities, and supported, revered, and respected in the community. So imagine how you might dance if you knew that everyone in your community understood the magnificence of your body and how your body and spirit connect to the earth and to the Creator. Imagine how you would dance if you knew that the way you moved your hips was activating a specific energy within your sacral chakra and your root chakra that helped to facilitate your connection to the earth. And our energy field is rooted to the earth through the root chakra. And energy from the earth comes up through the root chakra and into the body, and then out through the crown chakra and out through the upper parts of the energy field and into the cosmos. And the body is designed to be a conduit for the energy, the conduit between heaven and the earth. And the way the energy flows is how the body can serve as a conduit. And so if you're belly dancing and you're moving your breasts and you're fluttering your belly and shimmying so that you can be more grounded in the earth, then you understand yourself to be wonderfully and sacredly made, a divine creation. And this is the foundation for belly dance. Much later, once women started to lose their respect in communities, belly dance became more of a performance. And when people came from other parts of the world and saw belly dance, when people came from the West, from Europe into Africa and Western Asia, Syria, other parts of what is now, they call it the Middle East, but some of those countries are actually in Africa and some are in Western Asia. So when people saw women being comfortable with their bodies, not corseting, putting on a corset from the belly, letting the belly show, and moving their hips without constriction, Western people who become disconnected from the woman's body saw that as some type of wild, sensual, sexual, frenzied kind of movement because they saw it out of context. And this is what we have come to learn belly dance as this thing that wild women do so they can be sexy and appeal to men. And it's perfectly fine to be sexy. And it's perfectly fine to appeal to men or to appeal to whoever you want to appeal to. That is a part of it. It's just that the appeal in its purest form for the woman is that the woman, the female body, is connected to the heaven and the earth. That her body is the conduit between heaven and earth. And that the movement of the body facilitates the movement the free and flowing movement of the energy field, and the free and flowing movement of the blood, and the free and flowing movement of the energy of the Creator and of the energy of the earth. But belly dance is a sacred dance because of the connection, women's connection to the heaven and the earth. And this dance, if done consciously, can remind us, not just the women who are dancing, but everybody in the community, male, female, transgender, whatever, can remind us that we are connected to the heaven and the earth. We are wonderfully and sacredly made, and our bodies, in our minds, in the energy in which we live. And there's this passage that I love. It's from Discover the Power Within You, and it does a treatment of the Lord's Prayer. It kind of rephrases it, and it says, I am now conscious of the infinite and eternal presence in which I live and by which I think and create. So belly dance is a reminder of the infinite and eternal presence in which we live and by which we think and create. And so every time you move your hips or your shoulders or your arms are fluttering in your energy field, moving that energy around, then you can remember that you are wonderfully and sacredly made, and that your body is a conduit for the infinite and eternal presence in which you live and by which you think and create. This is how belly dance is sacred. This is my impression of how belly dance is sacred. So please share, like, and follow, or do all the good things that one does when one likes a podcast. And I look forward to talking to you another time. Shine.